In a grab for power following the end of World War II, the United States employed more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, technicians from the fallen Nazi Germany. I'm, of course, talking about Operation Paperclip. I'm your host, Casey.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Kenneth.
Now, before we get into Paperclip, we are also going to be doing an episode on Operation Ozaviking, which is basically the same thing, but the Soviets forcibly recruited the Germans and their families in one night on October 22nd, 1946. And we'll be doing that episode on April 9th. And it's crazy because they did this, 6,000 people they picked up and they took off with them. So it's going to be a fun episode.
Damn, that's way more than...
Look who lost. Come with that.
Isn't it? That's way more than we took. Wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no. That never mind.
I mean, Operation Paperclip was pretty secretive for quite a while. So,
well, we took 1,600 German scientists and blah blah blah, but not it wasn't counting their families. That one's counting their families. Yeah,
that's counting.
So we took way more. How many did the Colombians take?
They took
I'm sure. Okay, because Paperclip, they got like some of the info that they got for Paperclip they got from MI6, so I'm sure those motherfuckers they probably swooped them up a couple Germans too.
Yeah. That was a joke because there's that theory that Hitler didn't kill himself. He fled to like Colombia or Costa Rica, and there's a lot of fucking Germans down there.
Costa Rica, Argentina, I think, is another one. Too,
it's one of those ones.
They delve into one of those things in that Hunter.
I know there's multiple spots. There's also that says he fled to fucking Antarctica too. So I mean, he could be. Anywhere.
I've heard that one.
But it's like there was a ton of Nazis that went down there.
He actually fled to America and started Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know what's the dumbest thing when people like always it's like Hitler sightings and shit and he still has the fucking mustache. It's like, dude, that's just not cool anymore.
Yeah, like nobody's gonna wish she how do you talk like I wish Matthew was here. He'd be a good German
he does
voice.
like a good German. Oh, it's not Hitler. I can't.
Yeah.
No, what's this? Sprechen Chapman. Chapman. No, nein Hitler. Chapman.
I was gonna say, do you got any impressions up your sleeve, Mike?
I don't know.
Mike's family is actually those German scientists.
Let's hear you German.
I don't even know what the fuck to say.
That's what I was like. I was gonna go say something. I was like, I don't even know what to say that I would be even remotely close to even sounding German to sound.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
I'm not gonna know one phrase.
Yeah.
Matthew would be here speaking gibberish, but it'd still sound like it makes sense.
There's actually a similar one of those Operation Paperweights where they brought German fast food workers to start all the fast food. Make them fatter and greasier. Yeah, das like cheeseburger. Das good. Ja. McDonald's. And actually, that's Ronald McDonald's original name was Ronald McCrager. McCrager.
No, so before Paperclip, before it was called Operation Paperclip, it was actually called Operation Overcast. And what was that?
Oh, I said I've heard that.
Oh yeah, the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff established the first secret recruitment program known as Operation Overcast, and this program was in place to assist in shortening the Japanese war and to aid the United States post-war military research. Sorry, my eyeball's burning.
Nice.
fucking dry eye, man. It sucks. Anyway, their goal was to gain German intel and help develop Americans' arsenal of rockets and other biological and chemical weapons and whatever they were doing. And they were trying to keep information out of the hands of the Soviets as well.
So the Germans are the first ones who
War,
made
baby.
missiles, ballistic missiles. Are they
dope-ass
ballistic?
missiles.
But missiles. And it's so funny. Have you seen some of the early ones that they had? Like how they get a spin to them so they fly straight and stuff?
I did see a dope ass rocket car one of the guys helped make.
Like they were super advanced when it came to propulsion engines. Or whatever you would call it, jet. They made the first jet also.
Damn.
Yeah. But they made.
Don't break your arm jerking them off too hard, Mike.
Okay, shut the fuck up. What they like the technological advancements they did was pretty amazing. And then we took all that.
As we do.
So
I mean, we did have the atomic bomb though, so it's like we skipped a couple steps and just like look what we did. It's like, yeah, don't do that again. It's like, that's probably smart.
Who created the atomic bomb? I forget his name.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, was he German?
No.
During the Manhattan Project.
He sounds Jewish.
He's the one that said that.
It was also, it comes from the theory created by Albert Einstein. So
he's the one that quoted that, or that quote comes from, but I think he took it from something else. It's like, few people laugh, few people cried. Now I'm become death, destroyer of worlds. But he took that from something. But he said that the day whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who it was. And it was fucking Oppenheimer. It was after the after the Trinity test in New Mexico. He said, we knew the world would not be the same. A few people laughed, a few people cried, most people were silent. And then he says the fucking the whole fucking now I'm become death, the destroyer worlds thing. But I'm just fucking scrambling. But I guess he it was from the Hindu scripture.
What the fuck is that?
Bhagavad Gita? I don't know. But it's from a fucking it's from an ancient Hindu scripture. All right. That was the point. I was just saying Oppenheimer said that. He said that dope ass line because it was like Vishnu or something.
Yeah.
Said it or some crap like that.
I mean, it's a good line for how he was feeling.
It's a cool line. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it was after the Trinity test in New Mexico where they first where the first atomic bomb was successly detonated.
Like, I really hope that he like wasn't looking through stuff to find a cool thing to say afterward, like the night before. So if you got the test tomorrow morning, hold on, I could go through my poetry books, see what I need to say after my bomb blows up.
He seemed like he seemed like a very smart guy. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, not that smart because he would have known. Well, people like that, it's like it probably fucking eats away at him. Like, just like, fuck, dude, I know I can create something crazy, scary, and it's like, my God, what have I done? I am cocky motherfucker. now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. There was actually a thing about I don't know what fucking. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I'm mixing up paperclip stuff. All right, let's get back into the paperclip. I mean, this whole thing, I think.
Well, we're talking about Overcast right now, Joseph.
Oh yeah. Overcast.
I know we got kind of sidetracked on this. We went a little sideways, but no.
They were trying to stop the Soviets from getting the shit, along with upping the development of our arsenal of rockets and shit. You're saying?
Yeah, and then I was gonna say that they used the term Overcast because it was the name of the first German scientist family and his family the first German scientist and his family members' last name that they placed in the housing camp. that they were held in for a while. So
Oh.
that's yeah, it was basically it was a housing camp for German scientists. So, but I'm
Yeah.
sure they were treating him nicely if they wanted him to come work for them. It's not like they were going to treat him like
Yeah.
shit. I'm sure, but yeah. So that's how the last name. I guess their last name was Overcast. So that's how they got Operation Overcast, is because the first guy to arrive.
That's kind of a cool last name.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, what? No. So then the Joint Chief of Staffs created a subcommittee known as the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency to directly see, yeah, to directly oversee the operation of Overcast, and later to be the Operation Paperclip.
Hell yeah! Can I get an
And
amen?
the name,
I'm just kidding.
Name it. I mean, what?
Amen.
I was gonna say the name changed in 1945. It was renamed by. Go ahead.
Oh, so Overcast did not last long at all.
Yeah, no. And it was renamed by Ordnance Corps officers who would they would attach the paper clips to the folders of the rocket experts they wished to employ in the United States. So that's how they changed it. That's why they changed it.
So they just had like a bunch of folders of previous Nazi scientists, and then they're like, "This one's cool."
But yeah,
Paperclip.
it's
Yeah.
because
Hold on. Was there like a ranking system? So this guy gets like 3 paperclips.
they're actually they got all
what if
that
there was
stuff
a
on
color
the,
system? Like, oh, he gets a green one. Oh, we don't want this one. He's red.
when they were searching for
drinking
fucking weaponry.
juice.
When they were searching for their fucking for German weaponry and shit, they found a thing called the Ozenberg list. They found it in a toilet in Bonn University. It was a list of the list was a catalog of German scientists and engineers that worked for the Third Reich. So they had a list that literally was made that they found. They stumbled upon basically the fucking holy grail of geniuses on a.
When you say
the Ozenberg list?
when you say
That one?
toilet,
Yeah,
do you mean like
Ozenberg.
American toilet where it's like in the bowl, or toilet like a bathroom?
They were trying to flush.
Oh,
it was
you
in
know
a
what?
Toilet,
It was in an
like
actual
a toilet.
toilet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because
Is
I
it-
had
is
to.
it
Because other
Ozenberg?
countries they call the bathroom the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was pronouncing it wrong. I didn't know it was called Ozenberg.
No, it
So
said it was stuffed in a toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, they found
Yeah.
it. They basically stumbled upon the holy grail of fucking geniuses when they found that. So it's like literally just like
Fucking-
list of names and fucking what they're fucking.
It was like when Biff found that sports almanac that told all the winnings and shit.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
basically what
basically.
they stumbled upon.
dude. Imagine
they
that. Like
realized.
the Third Reich is falling. This motherfucker's like, shit. Flush the stash.
Yeah, they're like flush this out so they can't get a hold of any of these scientists, so they can't bomb us. We're trying to get those V2s in the wrong hand.
Like I really just imagine it like it's a police raid and he's just taking papers and shoving them down the toilet.
Trying to flush him and shit. It's
trying to
not
fucking
going in.
trying to eat some of it, like it's a
We're trying
fucking
to
drug
burn 'em.
raid.
They were trying to burn them, and then they thought it'd be smart to try to flush the stuff too.
We ain't got enough time to flush
Imagine how much information, because as soon as the war was ending and the Nazis were falling, and they knew they were going down, and they were burning everything, destroying all the evidence and stuff, like any documentation or anything. Imagine if they didn't destroy everything and we had everything that they were doing. How much fucking I don't even know, like how much.
Oh, like the Nazi
information we would
super
have.
soldier shit.
Oh, cool. We'd be
stuff
at
like
just
that.
we'd be
not,
on,
even, not even experiments, just like even political wise, just like his like what he was doing on a day-to-day basis, like just the history of everything that he was doing that he just erased, that he got rid of. I mean, there's a lot that we know, and there's a lot that's still recorded, but there's a lot that was lost too.
Dude,
Yeah.
they
And-
should,
It just but like how different it would kind of be, I don't know
they
Well,
should
if
make
that
a,
makes sense to you guys.
yeah, no, I mean, anytime fucking.
I just hate seeing history
information
being
that's
destroyed.
lost.
That's what
when
it's like, good
yeah, when
or
it's-
bad,
Yeah.
it still needs to be there. Like it still needs to be.
Documented.
Look,
Yeah,
this is what
that's
we
the word I'm
actually
looking
need.
for.
This is what we need 100%. We need a Operation Paperclip movie with Idris Elba at the helm as the main character, and he finds the Osenberg, whatever the fuck. He lists. Wait,
I think
Was
it's
that what it was?
Ozenberg.
yeah,
Yeah.
He finds the Osenberg list in the toilet, and he's just like, "What's this tempting me?" And he just picks it up. And he starts looking at the list.
Was he Australian?
Brilliant. And
He's
just like,
he's British.
he's British.
Oh.
I can't do it. They're all mixed and match in my.
I mean, they're
This is
almost
fucking
one of the
brilliant.
same kind of.
What is it? What is it? General Elba. He's just like, look at this list, right? I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah, but like, how much you think they actually told us? Like, they could have found so much more and didn't like tell us what they've actually found.
Yeah,
it's the government.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these scientists.
that's true.
Keep in mind that Nazi Germany is pretty fucking radical, but a lot of these scientists might have just been
Radical.
like, "I'm an academic. I'm working for the government because I was recruited by the government." They might not have the same allegiance.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
These scientists were working without moral. Basically, they were just doing whatever the fuck
they were allowed
to,
to-
and no consequences because they were allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, they were performing experiments on people and shit, and
yeah.
Yeah,
Like they did
forced
like
labor. Forced
children
labor.
fucking, yeah.
Like they needed stuff done. It was
no, it was bad. It was all bad, but it's like the reason that they came to work for us once we had them. I don't see them having many reasons to withhold information.
Oh, yeah, because the Americans were like, it's either us or the Russians. It's like sold,
dude. And I'm sure at that point, it's like, hey, no one knows that we have you. You know, so
except for some of these
cough the shit up, or people will just assume you died when the Third Reich fell, that you never made it out of Germany. You know,
so the original intent of the Operation Overcast, when it was founded and then changed to Paperclip, the original intent of the program was just to interview the scientists, gain the information that they had, and that was it. But then
like,
Major Staffer, he was like he was like hearing all this information, and then the whole operation just changed. They're like, nope, we gotta do something else.
You work for us now. Well, son of a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch, I'm in. Well, really, it was honestly probably underneath like the threat of like either you work for us or we're gonna kill you. That's probably what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Then
what I meant earlier. When it's like no one knows that you're here.
Once you become like you gain trust, have some bonds or whatever, then they stop. They loosen the leash up on you. They don't keep such a close eye on you anymore. But like at the beginning, I'd have to imagine that these guys were highly surveillanced. Like,
that's what
they
I
had to be
mean.
locked up.
They were
Even,
probably put into like a some type of military housing complex.
Well, I was gonna say they're like Operation Overcast was named because the first German scientists to arrive to their encampment that they were holding these people at. So
and
I don't know how long they were held there for, but
even though so it's like Harry Truman, the fucking president, can't even say his name. He's the one that
Truman.
Harold Truman. There we go. Old Harry. No, he's the one that sanctioned the operation, but he was like supposedly against recruiting like Nazis.
Yeah, he wanted no Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he forbid the agency to do it, but it's like, who the fuck are you gonna get that wasn't a Nazi? That was a scientist.
I mean, with the people coming back from World War II, the people who fought and were seeing what the Germans did to their people, there was a lot of fucking hate. It's just because it was fucked up. People were seeing all these mass graves and torture sites and shit like that. And
then
there was
in America for fucking.
There was a report. There were reports in World War II of people, when the war was ending, the American troops going in and instead of taking the unarmed German soldiers that surrendered, they just fucking lined them up and shot them because they said they're not human at this point with what they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like imagine that you not knowing what's happening. You may be hearing rumors and stuff, and then you see it firsthand. mass graves, people who starving to death, you know, you might
It's
feel like you
sickening
might feel a
'cause-
bit vigilante-ish at that point. You know,
Yeah, it's
especially since there'd be kids there too.
it's a gross side of our human nature. Well, not our human nature. That's not human nature to do that, but it's fucking. What am I trying to say? Like it's humans that are the fucking goddamn problems. They're never happy with anything, and then they always try to find like, oh, if I do this, if I eradicate these people, I'm gonna find this kind of happiness, or the world is gonna be this much of a better place. But in actuality, it's just created a more shitty place. And if more people just came together and worked together, then we wouldn't have all this conflict in the world. We would
Yeah.
just be one fucking mass group of fucking people living on a planet, helping each other out. It would. I don't. I just don't understand it. Like if every country just worked together, because all the problems that stem in the world. I always say this. It
Well,
always
what
comes
ends
from
up
the
happening is
political leaders.
you get people wanting to take more control, and the easiest way to get control over people is to give them an enemy to root against. Because
Yeah, but we don't need an enemy as a problem. That's
but
the
that's
problem,
how these
creating
people.
an
That's how
enemy.
Hitler took control. That's how people take control, and it's happened all over the world. There's this same thing. You create a common enemy in your people's eyes, and you root them against it. You know,
Call it patriotism and go about it.
That's how that.
but I mean that's how
that's
pretty
saying
much
the
every genocide has worked. It's when there's a dictator that comes along, and that's what happens.
That's how you make
Yeah.
friends with people you hated too. And it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
That's how that shit works. You get a common fucking enemy,
That and
whatever.
then the dictators, when they would take over places, they'd try to bury what
Also, let's not forget that Hitler
their
was
past
into some-
histories and stuff like that. Like there's the Kristallnacht stuff where they burnt all the fucking books in Germany that had to do with Jewish stuff.
Can we take a moment to make fun of the Nazi party because they got their ideas from a superior alien race thing?
What?
The whole not
You never
like
heard of that?
Yeah, Hitler based a lot of his shit off of this weird fucking the Aryan race shit of I don't know the fucking full details of it, but it's like this alien higher race thing. It's like it's not even fucking of this world. It sounds batshit crazy. I forget what
Well,
it
I mean,
is.
Hitler was
he
pretty
based his shit-
batshit fucking crazy.
He based his
So
shit
he
off
was a
of
Scientologist.
That's basically. I don't remember the details.
Look that
Oh,
up,
wow.
Joseph, and then I'm gonna just throw in a little tidbit about what you were
there's
saying about Truman.
ancient aliens. Did Adolf Hitler have an alien advisor guiding him? That would be an interesting topic.
Dude, wasn't Hitler on an early version of what fucking meth is?
I don't know.
He was on
What?
uppers. Yeah. You have never fucking seen this?
No.
Oh, dude, dude, he was essentially on crack.
It'd have to be a lot stronger too because it wasn't perfected. in
But
any way.
it was given to him because he was nervous or something like that, and then he got fucking addicted to it. Hold on.
They give him crack because he was nervous.
Give me
I feel like that's the worst thing to do to somebody
give me a
who's
second.
nervous.
Hold on.
You're
give him
saying you've
crack.
never done that.
Let me let me get this right, because I know it was an upper, and you could see fucking videos of him where he's sitting and he's just twitching and shit and looking like a fucking crackhead. Yeah.
No, so while you guys look up your stuff, I was just gonna say about the Truman thing. So what Joseph was saying, he forbid the recruitment of Nazis. But so Werner von Braun, Arthur Rudolph, and Hubris Stronghold, those were all people popular in making the V2 rocket, and they were listed as a menace to security of the Allied forces, and they were not going to be allowed to. I can't talk right now. They were not going to be allowed to find employment in America, so the officials of the JIOA and the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, they just basically wiped out their past, eliminating all their war crimes record from their records and everything, just you know, so that they can take them in.
I can't find the alien thing I was talking about, but I've seen it before. And actually, they bring up the fucking.
Well, you just had an Ancient Aliens episode thing.
Okay, so he was on a drug called Pervitin, a methamphetamine-based stimulant. The doctor who developed it, Fritz Hauschild, would go on to pioneer East Germany's sports doping program. Within months, this variant of crystal meth was available without a prescription, even sold in boxes of chocolate, and was widely adopted by all selectors of society to alleviate mood, control weight gain, and increase productivity.
Yeah, because they're all tweaking.
Yeah. So yeah, it's meth. Yeah, he was like, dude,
why are you building this porch at 2 a.m.? I'm on this candy. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, he was also like apparently on morphine for pain and shit like that. But because he was taking morphine, he needed an upper so he wouldn't be fucking tired all the time. So he was taking fucking meth.
I wasn't recording this whole time.
Are you serious?
No.
Maybe this is more of a conspiracy thing. Supposedly, the Nazis spawned from a mysterious occult society which may have been in touch with aliens. It might just be a fucking conspiracy thing. I thought he was batshit crazy. Whatever.
Let's get back into it, you guys. We got Matthew here with us now. Go ahead, Matthew, with your.
No, make the mouse kill Jules again. Yes, do it.
Yeah, see, this is what we needed. We needed Matthew's impression.
Yeah, Matthew, we needed you for the German fucking accents for sure.
I'm not great with German.
There's another one with the fucking the big bad wolf trying to get into the pig's house and he dresses like a Jewish person.
I seen that one. I see that one.
I was gonna say I'm probably the most German here, and I can't do a fucking shit of an accent.
I'm mainly Irish, and I can't do a very good Irish accent.
Yeah, but you can drink pretty good.
So let's catch Matthew up a little bit. So we're talking about. I'm sure you know we're talking about Operation Paperclip, and the primary purpose of Operation Paperclip was to gain advantage over the Soviets during the Cold War and during the space race.
Are you recording?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, so it used to be called Overcast, and then it got turned to Paperclip. We already went over all that shit. Harry Truman sanctioned it, but he said you can't use Nazis, and so the people that we did recruit that were Nazis or Nazi supporters, you know, they wiped the records clean. So then here we go. Not fast forward, but you know, like in 1943. So this is all like Paperclip information. So in 1943, Hitler actually recalled all his scientists from combat duty and reassigned them to research units and to assist the war effort. Werner Ausenberg, the one who made that list, who worked in the Defense Research Association, he compiled that list and of Hitler's top scientific minds to be reassigned and where they needed to be, and then that was the famous Ausenberg list that Joseph brought up earlier.
Yeah, and you know, so I mean, and we already, I mean, basically the moral of all this is these motherfuckers came here, got all war crimes fucking wiped, and then you know, fucking a lot of them died as fucking like national heroes and shit, which is really fucked up. That I just had like an example of one that I read about was Dr. Benzinger, who was a Nazi doctor before being brought to the U.S. And he died comfortably in a retirement home in Bethesda, Maryland at 94 years old. The New York Times had a delightful obituary written for him, praising him for the invention of the ear thermometer and completely leaving out the work he did in concentration camp prisoners. But this guy created the ear thermometer, and he was a Nazi. Like, that's crazy.
It's kind of fucked up. That's why I don't use them, because
that's going to be a common theme in this.
That's why I only use the anal the rat
thermometers. I don't put that shit in my ear. I know a Nazi. Put that shit in my ass.
Put that shit in my ass. Put it on my tongue. Like a real American. Put that shit in my ass.
Put that shit in my ass.
That's going to be a common theme in this this episode, I
He was-
believe.
I could use that shit. I know.
He
I ain't
actually-
endorsing no fucking hate.
I didn't write all this down because I was just jotting shit down, but he was trying to, he discovered it because he was trying to find the closest temperature to your brain. And that's how he stumbled upon it or some shit.
Damn,
But, I mean, he
dude,
was doing,
that's
he
fucking
was-
insane. He was literally fucking shoving it into people's ears. as
yeah,
far
I'm
as it
not
goes.
sure. That's what I imagine he was doing at the cancer, just shoving it as far
Popping
as he can in people's
eardrums.
ears. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, dude. That's
Oh no,
painful.
that's not do. I can't do a German accent, but
Can you hear that? What's it say?
That has angry German. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I can
Well,
do,
that's all there is.
yeah, that or the other one. Yeah, I just want to make sure that it says 96 degrees.
Stop.
Jaw.
No.
No,
Well, if you're a Nazi, you're only angry German. You think they don't talk casually? I don't think so.
Yeah, he doesn't do a German accent. He only does a Nazi accent.
What would you like in your tea? 3 sugar cubes. 3.
Oh, fuck.
so
oh man. Casey, are you drinking
So
Bud
we-
Light? That's what Nazis drink.
actually,
drink a Budweiser, the
my
American beer.
second Bud Light, and I had some Jim Beam too.
Jim Bean. Ooh, Jimmy
Did
Bean.
you flick any Jim's beans today?
Hmm.
Yeah, no, Jim Beam.
Matthew, how's it feel that you've been walking around here
Yeah.
drinking malt liquor and thinking you're taking shots this whole time?
Still 33%.
It's still 33%. Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. I'm 100%. By the way, because you can get them anywhere, so it's like that's fine. I'm fine with that.
I was just joking. No,
I know
so
people
a
are
year
pissed.
after, yeah, I know.
Sorry.
A
Okay.
year after Hitler recalled his scientific troops back in 1940.
I'm sorry. Can I just bring up one more thing? I totally forgot. The guy created a dietary thing too. Ah, fuck. I can't remember what it was now on the top of my head. Something about I think weight loss or some shit. I can't remember. Guy I was talking about before. I don't
Well,
They
have it.
created
no-
Weight Watchers.
No disrespect, but I mean, he was probably running those in his camp.
He was. That was his whole fucking thing. Was don't. It's like here's how you
Don't
whatever.
feed yourself.
You find a secluded area, you
Don't
make
feed
barbed
yourself.
wire fences, you get a bunch of hate mongering fuck boys as the guards, and they just starve you, and then you lose 300 pounds.
Damn, that's
They
fucked.
called they called that the
Welcome to Weight
Auschwitz.
Watchers.
They called the
yeah,
Auschwitz waistline.
I believe at the point it was called Weight Watches.
Advanced watches. Yeah.
We're gonna go to hell for this. Von Devilstick. Von Devilstick. Okay.
Continue, Casey.
Casey, show us the facts.
Show me potato salad.
He
No,
just keeps thinking
so-
about Weight Watchers.
No, I was thinking of that Family Guy episode when there was like the end of the world, and they're walking,
Twinkies.
they're walking around, and they see this guy by like this tree, and he asks him a question, and they're like things to bring to a picnic, and he's like show, and they all like agree on
Oh,
potato
yeah.
salad, and he's like show me potato salad. He points at the sky.
They're just blankly looking at it, and they just sneak past them. They're just
Yeah.
like waiting for it.
No, so a year after Hitler called all his scientific troops back. In 1944, U.S. and British intelligence decided to collect Hitler's top scientists to gain advantage over the Soviets. One of the most notable people to be collected by the United States was Werner von Braun.
Yeah, which I want to know if in like Germany, his
One
name
of the
is
founders of
the-
NASA, right?
Yeah,
Probably
one of the
Werner.
founders of
Werner.
NASA.
He created the Saturn V rocket, which is the boosters that brought us to the moon. And yes, he ended up being the director of NASA at one point.
Oh man,
He's the one I was talking about that worked with Walt Disney too.
Came from
really?
the bottom.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
worked-
probably to fake that moon landing.
yeah. That's why you see
tell
Mickey
me.
Mouse in the background. Oh, oh.
So what you're telling me is you're telling me Buzz Aldrin and
Lightyear
what's his name?
related.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong are not.
So I mean, I got a little passage on him here. I don't know if you want me to delve right into that.
Do it.
Into
bitch.
what? About
Werner von Braun or Werner. I don't know how you pronounce it.
It's probably.
It's just like a little.
probably the V.
It's just like a little paragraph here.
The W's are V's.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. I don't give a
All
fuck.
Werner von Braun or Werner Magnus Maximilian Freiherr von Braun.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was an aerospace engineer and space architect in Germany. He was the technical director at the, I don't know how to say that, Peenemünde Army Research Center. He was instrumental in developing, the V2 rockets that wrecked England during the war. Along with the other rocket scientists, they were brought to Fort Bliss in Texas and White Sands Proving Grounds in New Mexico as War Department special employees to aid in the U.S. Army Army's rocket experimentation. He later became director of NASA, as we said, at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, and the chief architect of the Saturn V launch vehicle, which we were talking about before, or whatever, which eventually launched 24 American astronauts to the moon. He also worked with Walt Disney, that was the thing I was talking about, on a series of films about space travel, popularizing the idea in the U.S. and beyond between 1955 and 1957. He's known wide as the father of space travel and father of rocket science.
What?
So he's
what
like,
movie?
that's what I'm saying. He's like the biggest name out of the fucking Paperclip. Like if they ever try to keep that shit a secret, he for sure had a big ass fucking public face, and people were for sure connecting him. It's like, no, this piece of shit was in Nazi Germany. Me and Ishmael over here were fucking chilling, and we were loaded up to his fucking facility.
Well, in Germany, he used slaves to build his rockets.
Was there any notable,
true.
Notable movies out of those 5? Sci-fi space movies.
Oh, I didn't see the actual. I should have looked that up.
Movie.
They were all.
There is actually a book written about Operation Paperclip.
Yeah, if you want, I should have looked into that. I don't know if any of them were popular ones, but they were all space travel movies. So I don't know what they were about exactly. I just thought that was crazy. I heard about him a couple of years back. He was the only one I heard of before I started looking at other shit. And that was only because I started watching that show Hunters when it first came out.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, is that a conspiracy? And it's like, oh no, Operation Paperclip is 100% a real fucking thing.
Yeah,
and then
it's a good
that was
show.
the first. Yeah, it is. And he's the first name that pops up when you look at Nazi scientists. And that's because, fucking headed NASA's fucking research shit and all that stuff.
So Operation Paperclip was technically a conspiracy back in the day because people were saying this shit was happening, and they're like, "Oh no,
oh yeah,
we're not doing that. We're not doing that." Blah blah blah. And then sure as shit,
these guys would.
Time goes by. Investigative journalist.
Some of them were locked up in
She wrote a whole book about it. Like
some of them were
talking to their family members and shit of the scientists.
Yeah, some of them were locked up in other fucking countries, like getting tried for war crimes, and then they just magically records wiped, like clean slate, and they're in America, their families, and it's not like they faked their names and did shit with these guys. They just fucking wiped their record clean. I don't know if they did with some of them, but a lot of these guys just were still going by their birth names. That's it's like
they definitely were
German. They were just like, no, dude, they didn't do anything wrong. Unlike in Hunters, they changed their names and everything.
Yeah, well, even
smarter way to go.
Ignorance is bliss, you know.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So, outside the fact of just whole Nazi things, but in a military, in a war kind of thing, and you have lead scientists or lead strategists or whatever like that, and you capture them, they defect on your side kind of thing. That's the thing that's always happened. But so it makes sense that they had all this information. The U.S. wanted to use it, and that was, I mean, if the Cold War did evolve to be like an on-surface kind of like war, like a legit bloodshed kind of thing, and it was all out.
Okay.
It would have helped probably have all this information from these scientists.
So von Braun, after the publication of his articles on space exploration on Collier's magazine, he served as a technical advisor on 3 space-related television films, which Walt Disney produced in the 1950s to promote Tomorrowland, section of Disneyland Park in California. And
I
all
know the
3
last one. And U.S. goes to the moon.
Is that one of the things? Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Oh, because whatever these fucking films, they help fucking make going to space a big fucking dream for people.
Which is
Like,
crazy.
wasn't- Yeah.
The guy that got us to space would have been really pissed if he seen an alien.
Your bone structure is off. You are green. Oh, that sounds kind of Scottish. See, I can't do this.
You sounded kind of Shrekky.
Yeah, that's Shrek shot Scottish.
Yeah, that's Scottish. But
That's Shrek
You-
Scottish. That's not Scottish. That's Shrek.
I know you want to
Scottish.
travel in space, but you're gonna be real pissed when you see another life form that they don't look like you. Be real upset.
We're gonna have to go fight them. We're gonna have to start a war with them.
Why is your eyes not blue? They're just like
It's an
beady
alien, doesn't
black.
even have
They're just, like,
eyes.
looking at it doesn't even
This
have
alien
eyes.
doesn't even have eyes.
It has ears on its fucking eye holes.
Where's the blonde hair?
Where's the eyes?
It's
Where's the hair?
They pull down their
Its
pants
hands are
and have
up
a
like this,
pair of
just
eyes
like-
on their ass. It's like we don't
fuck does
see,
this guy want?
we hear things. Like a
He's with
thousand.
his buddies like, what the fuck does he want from us? No, so
Let's hear more.
so we got a lot of our I don't know if you're here for this, Matthew. So we got a lot of our scientists off a list called the Ozenberg list that was found stuffed inside of a toilet in 1945 in a Polish lab at Bonn University. And
They found a
a large
you tell me-
scope of-
They tell me
Right
they're
behind the
scientists,
toilet.
but they don't know how to get rid of information. Like there's stuff that reminds me of my little brother when he was on probation. He was smoking weed, and then they showed up and he fucking tried to flush it down the toilet. How do you do it? That's what you do with classified information. You just flush it down the toilet.
They burnt
I'm
some,
sure-
and then they thought it would be smart to try to flush it too.
Yeah, flush
Which, yeah,
Get
obviously
you
did
They'll
not
never
work.
find it.
open jaw.
it. They'll never find it. They're the military. They're not recology. They'll never find it.
At that point, like, wouldn't you just like try to set the entire place on fire? House and
Something.
all.
Yeah,
You're
like, tear
scientists.
it
Why not
up,
use a flamethrower? Fuck. I don't know.
They got Rick and Morty portal guns. They gotta
Matthew,
get rid of
they teach you science safety with that Bunsen burner. They don't want you fucking blowing the whole lab up.
Yeah, we'll just flush it.
Where's Bunsen Burners?
Better safe than sorry, you know what I mean?
God damn it, we can't
No,
get
but-
this down here. Jean Paul couldn't get down his 2-inch log down that toilet, and you want to shove these papers down it? Shut up, be quiet. The Americans are coming.
Started going Russian.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost had a splash of. It had a splash of Indian, like Indian.
Slavic.
Me too.
I don't know.
God damn it! I can't do fucking accents.
You're like
I'm trying to
Jesus.
do- I'm trying to do these
like
white
speaking in
accents.
tongues.
Yeah,
Like
something like
Jesus,
that.
like he spoke one
'Cause
language.
apparently,
and
when
he spoke
Jesus talked,
everything.
he spoke everything. He even spoke flamboyantly for the
That motherfucker just had some speech problem. He's like, oh my god!
Oh my god!
Divine words.
Divine
and everybody
word.
that was listening were high off of something when he was speaking to the tweakers of the day. He was
That
speaking to
burning
the
bush was opium.
yeah. There was opium being done, and the leopards were all sitting there hallucinating, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, this motherfucker's spitting."
No, so so this conspiracy was actually largely hidden from the public until about 2014 when Annie Jacobson, who I emailed and tried to get on this episode so she can talk with us about it, she published a book called Operation Paperclip, the secret intelligence program that brought Nazi scientists to America. Yeah, that's a mouthful fucking title. She should have shortened it up
Yeah.
a little bit, but
And
whatever.
what do and
Did
class
she write you back or just ignore it?
No, because it wasn't like a direct email for her. I had to talk to her publicist, and her publicist would have had to get back to me. And I'm sure because she was on Joe Rogan, so I'm sure that she was like, "Oh, this
so he
is like
fucks
a
with
nobody
Toe, man.
podcast." So
she
Yep.
fucks with
it's like I'm not
Toe,
even
man.
gonna waste the time.
Okay, so class, what do we do when somebody doesn't want to be on our podcast? We talk shit.
No, I was just gonna say. So that's like I don't know. It's fucking it's crazy, man. They a lot of the recruits that we ended up getting were all former members or even leaders of the Nazi party, as we spoke about, like Werner von Braun,
Yeah, I got it.
director of NASA, fucking father of the Saturn V rocket. He they made the
Is
the
it
V2
Saturn V or
rockets.
Saturn 5?
I
It
feel
is
like if you
Saturn.
say Saturn 5, it sounds stupid, so I feel like you have to say the Saturn.
Yeah, because
V.
Sounds like a
V-
90s boy band.
V for Vendetta. Nobody wants to hear 5 for Vendetta. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it does sound like a boy band from the 90s.
But it's crazy because when you think it's like
I got another guy that worked on those V2 rockets.
Who?
Arthur Rudolph, who is a German.
I brought him up
rocket
earlier,
engineer.
bitch.
Did you bring him up? Oh, you
I only
did.
said his name. I didn't go into specifics or anything. I just said he just worked on the V2 rocket with von Braun and one other guy.
Oh, dude, he was the one I was talking about.
No, Huberist.
He was the one I was
He
talking
was
about with
sick of-
the rocket car.
Well, yeah, he was sick of fucking just
Oh, really?
using horsepower on Santa's
Yeah.
sleigh.
I didn't look into them other than I looked up their names and just seen what they were known for, and then both of them, like the other two names that I like, the notable names from the list. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
the top
what-
three. They were all part of making the V2 rockets.
Yeah,
that
that's the only
devastated.
They're
fucking
also
what's
all
it
known
called?
for being very angry and very
Europe or
anti-Semitic.
England.
England, yes.
Yeah, so this guy, so he worked for Halent Works in Berlin, May 1st, 1930, where he worked with Max Valier on his rocket experiments. On May 17th, the experimental engine exploded, killing Valier and caused Dr. Paulus Halent, I assume the guy who owned the company, to forbid any more rocket research. Despite this, though, Rudolph, Riedel and Alphonse
Red nose.
Pietsch. I don't know how you
Riedel? Is it
pronounce that.
Riedel?
Is it right along? Riedel. I don't know how you say that. Okay, so they continue to do research in secret at this. So these guys continue to do rocket research. They were doing rocket like experiments and research and shit. After this Valier guy died, they continued to keep doing research in secret. And this led to Rudolph developing and improving a safer version of Valier's engine, while Pietsch developed a rocket car, like an actual rocket car. So Dr. Halent then retracted his prior restrictions and backed the project, leading to the birth of the Halent rocket car. It was a technical success, but the fuel costs were too great and the performances were discontinued. But I think this stuff got the attention of like the Nazi like party, because they're like, oh fuck, because they tested this fucking bad boy out, and I guess it was successful, but it cost way too much fucking shit. But it reminds me,
rocket fuel to go fucking 20 miles real quick.
you know what? It looks just like the fucking cars from Fallout. Hold on, let me get to it.
Nice.
Look at this shit. Well, it reminded me of them, but it had like a rocket thing on the back, I think. But it's like the fucking like it reminds me of Fallout. I don't know.
I've seen
When
one
you-
of those before.
When you
they
walk
break
down the road,
record in one of those?
oh, I have no idea. But I don't know. It reminds me of some of the fucking, I don't know. Reminds me of Fallout. But yeah, so that shit, he fucking fuckity fuck. Yeah, so he joined the Nazi party in 1931. And fast forward into Operation Paperclip days and beyond to 1982, where he was accused of war crimes by the justice. Okay, well, I just skipped over the shit that he did before. Whoops. Okay, so he worked with / under Werner von Braun on both the V2 rockets and at NASA. He's one of the main developers of the U.S. space program and managed the development of many systems, including the Pershing missile, or I don't know, Pershing, I don't know, missile, and the Saturn V moon rocket. So yeah, that was his like main like thing. But he did a lot of space program shit.
Yeah,
And,
if you believe that we even went to the moon. But if you want some more information on that, go to season 1, episode 6 of the Conspiracy Outpost, and you can hear all about the moon landing.
So, anyways, he actually did semi get brought to justice, not completely get brought to justice. In 1982, he was accused of war crimes by the Justice Department. He was involved with forced labor at the V2 rocket factory. Jewish groups said he was responsible for lack of air, light, food, and medical attention for the forced laborers from the Dora Nordhausen concentration camp. He was given a deal, and if he renounced his U.S. citizenship and fled in exile, he'd be acquitted of these crimes. So that's what he did. He fled.
If you run away, we'll let you get away with these fucking.
Yeah, that's basically
he
went back to Germany. The only upside to this guy's fucking story to me is that his daughter, because he had a little girl before he came to America. She lives in Canada, and Canadians did not let him go into the country to see his daughter, because if you're convicted of war crimes or have ever been whatever, you're not allowed to go into Canadian borders or through Canadian borders. So he was never allowed to see his daughter again. I don't know if she ever went to go see him, but he could not go to her. And I like to sit there and think that he never seen her again and died.
It's a good picture to paint.
Old man. Yeah. I got one more guy a part of the V2 shit. This one I looked a little more into his shit because this motherfucker was in World War I and II. He was in the German.
So was Hitler.
Yeah, that's true. So Walton Dornberger. Oh man, I want a hamburger now. He was a German army artillery officer in both World War I and II. He first enlisted in 1914 during World War I. It was captured by the French army and held as a prisoner of war till 1919. This motherfucker got caught by the French, of all people. So in 1925, he was sent to Charlottenburg Institute of Technology to study ballistics. This is where he met Werner von Braun. He recruited von Braun 7 years later after being put in charge of the solid fuel rocket research and development in the Ordnance Department of the German Army. Then 2 years after that, Dornberger and von Braun successfully built 2 rockets that rose vertically for more than 2.4 kilometers or 1.5 miles. In 1937, he was appointed as the military commander of rocket research and led the V2 rocket program, along with other projects at the Peenemünde, whatever, Army Research Center. That's just so he's the one that led the project.
It sounds like the other two were specializing in liquid fuel and he was specializing in solid fuel. Because I believe the rockets that were used to get to space were liquid fueled, correct?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not
Or it's more like a paste, I think, or something. I don't know. I'd be completely wrong on that.
Ew, what are you covered in? Rocket paste?
Mm.
Why? Who's asking?
Who's asking? He's all licking it. So when Dornberger was captured by Allied forces, he spent 2 years as a prisoner in England. He eventually immigrated to the U.S. in 1947, and worked as an advisor on the development of guided missiles. So he helped with guided missiles like shit. And later he worked for the Bell Aircraft Corporation and on the Air Force NASA Dyna-Soar project. It's DYNA and then -SOAR project. Dinosaur. What the fuck? I don't know what the project was. I didn't look into that.
They were trying to clone dinosaurs to make an amusement park.
That's all Jurassic Park. There.
They do move in herds.
Oh, dude, they did actually recently, or they acquired a dinosaur head with skin on it.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So are we gonna get
Allegedly.
feathered dinosaurs or lizard ones?
Lizardly. Allegedly, lizard people.
A lizardly. Yeah.
They
Yeah, I did those 3 guys because their shit was like kind of interesting because they were part of the V2 shit together, and they had
But,
like
like,
we do.
we
they've
couldn't
all had,
talk
like,
about all of
big
them. There's
things.
16,000.
yeah, and from those 16,000, I seen 12 like big ones.
yeah, we're gonna have
Probably the
fucking
most famous.
episode 16,000. We're gonna go deep dive into each one of these guys.
We'll say every one of their names and how their grandmas lost their virginities.
Go down their whole lineages and everything. We'll get to the bottom of these fucking Nazis.
Somebody's like a hero and they go around fucking their grandchildren. Just
Like, fuck, they're related to every major political candidate these days.
Wait a minute. But yeah, that's the only ones I had for those guys.
So what do you think of Project Paperclip, Matthew? I know you weren't here for the whole thing, but what you caught of it? Like,
I think it's legit.
basically relocating Nazi scientists to the United States and washing their records clean.
It makes
more or less
sense
what it is.
because it would be a waste of a brilliant mind kind of thing. And not saying they're brilliant people, they're not great people, but it is a brilliant mind and their technology. Why not take their technology too? Why not? Why not do that? Especially if we're afraid of, if at the time we were afraid of the Soviets.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot too. That's always happened in war too in the past. Like even like you have this great general that was so good with this great strategist that was really good, or general, whatever. People and a side would come in and they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to work for us?" kind of thing, and that's happened. Officers, really good officers, and like crazy stuff like that. So why not scientists? Especially if they did anticipate everything that was going to happen with Soviet Russia.
Really, just the outcome of the world.
Yeah, and it's the thing too is like you don't want to burn all that info. You don't want to get rid of all the information. They've had technologies that we didn't have, so why not take it?
Yeah, it's a whole devil on the shoulder kind of thing. It's like you take your fucking enemy and you use their fucking advanced shit. Because if you don't, someone else is.
Yep.
Can you imagine if Russia got all those fucking scientists?
True. And
what about
we're a little bit.
They only got a measly 6,000 though.
Yeah, it's over 6,000.
We're a little bit
6,000 total people, but they did get more scientists than we did. They picked up they recruited 2,200 German specialists, so that could be scientists, technicians, all them shit. So
did we win the space race there? Yeah, like
no,
we
did not win the space race.
Oh no, we did.
We won the race to the moon.
First ones to go from the moon.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, never mind. That's right.
I mean,
I got that mixed
up. They did send a potato up there.
I messed that one up there.
It was yeah.
No,
I ain't afraid.
What about you, Kenny? What were your thoughts on Paperclip? Like, what do you think? If anything would have happened differently or anything of the sort, like tell me your thoughts.
I'm gonna say there's no denying that it happened, that we took them, but you think they would try to hide it better? Like we've stolen plenty of stuff from plenty of people.
2014.
They didn't do a very good job of it.
Plenty of people and hid that for as long as possible.
Who the fuck are all these like?
They almost made it 100 years.
Who the fuck are all these people that keep popping up with German names?
I'm just American like you. I like hot dogs, hamburgers. My last name has burger. I like hamburgers.
Fuck.
I like beef schnitzels.
Beef schnitzels.
Hamburger.
What's the 4th of July? Wait, say that again. July. I knew it. My neighbor's a Nazi. What? What are you?
That was good. That's
good.
Did we actually ever?
Funny of you,
Casey, did you even did you say as I wasn't paying attention how they were able to get past fucking Truman's his little ban on recruiting them?
He's a pawn.
No, I just thought they just did it anyway. They're just like, well, we don't give really a fuck what you have to do. What would they do? I didn't know. I didn't look into it.
Was just they give them citizenships, they wouldn't be Germans anymore, right?
Well, no, I think it's just that the president's a pawn.
Basically, no, it was real fucking simple. What they did was the JIOA and the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, which were the forerunners of the CIA. They found a way around the directive by destroying or whitewashing any evidence. That was basically anything.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they just wiped the record. I
didn't know if you were saying. Yeah, that's how they got past Truman's fucking thing, where they're just like, if we wipe their records clean, they're not war criminals because
I thought you were gonna say like they did some fucking super secret spy shit.
Yeah, actually, they lined up all these. They actually lined up. They actually lined up all the science. Did I? They actually lined up all the scientists from mouth's moistest to driest, and they all sucked Harry Truman's dick.
Oh my god!
I got 2 loads left. I'll have to go home and lay with my wife. All right. Rest y'all wait here for me tomorrow.
Mr. Truman, you're gonna be dry coming tonight.
That's okay.
They're like, Mr. President, winks at him. And the German guy's like, what's going on? I want to see his face. I don't know what he looks like.
Well, you boys, welcome to America. Nice to meet you. I hope I know back in your country, real big fan of the Wiener Schnitzel. All right, boys, line up. Good old America welcoming. All right.
Oh, shit.
On the knees.
Don't worry about no pubes here in America. Don't worry, I shaved. You can get a little taste of the bald eagle.
So Operation Paperclip, yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing. Some would argue that if the balance of power, if Operation Paperclip wasn't enacted, then the balance of power could have been shifted to the Soviet Union.
For sure.
To the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
For sure.
But on the same note, does that excuse the past Nazis? It doesn't excuse is it a free pass for their war crimes, you know?
Well, here's the thing. At that point, you have one of 2 choices. Kill them so the other people can't use them, or you get them.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have to clear the records. We could have held them as prisoners.
No, because they won't work as good that way.
Glorified prisoners. Like, don't give them freedom, but give them stuff they want in bars.
Give them freedom, but don't say it's freedom.
The equivalent to the Suicide Squad minus the bombs in there.
You had to, because guess what? In Russia,
every single one of these, but we didn't have to, because every single one of these scientists that we brought over, or technicians, or what have you, they all got away with their war crimes without an ounce of punishment or accountability, whether or not they were directly involved in the war or not, and they were aiding the war, whatever.
I would say,
whatever their
after you
crimes
milk
were,
them for all their worth, then fucking imprison them.
You can't. They're not. Yeah. They're too smart. They're too smart to be cattle. You can't milk them and fucking eat them.
You guys, I have something.
But here's the thing. We would want to show an example to other people that we possibly captured that it is better to work for us. You might find a way out of this. So there is that. It's like the thing.
Whenever it's one of those things. Yeah. Well, people know. It's like if you're captured and you're like, and you defect, then it's like, we'll treat you better. Work for us. We'll treat you better. There's that. But the thing is, you want these guys as healthy as possible. You want them fed. You want their families taken care of, go to college, all kinds of good stuff. And guess what? In return, you want the best quality shit.
Yeah, dude, that's what McDonald's does now.
Was doing that to their people because they could give a fuck less. But the thing is, we're competing with them, and if we killed them off, we didn't have them, we would have been nowhere close in that race.
Yeah, dude,
and the thing is, yeah, you had to do it.
Oh yeah, it's a guaranteed thing in Russia. They were behind bars. They didn't get shit.
Well, no, they probably were treated great. They're probably treated like kings. I mean, they're probably treated like really good. And so we had to do the
in Russia.
same.
I doubt it.
If you want the best,
actually, the Russians, they actually, so we'll get into this because we're actually doing an episode about this. It's basically
Soviet
the Russian side of
I want to say
Soviet Russia. Sorry, Soviet Russia side of this. They basically did the same thing the United States did, but we're trying to swoop up German people. But they did it, but they only swooped them up long enough to get information from them, and then they let them go back home. They didn't keep them. I don't know if we.
Well, who wants to stay there?
Like we didn't say that they could leave. Like, oh, once you're here, you're here. You know, like I don't know if the United States did that or not.
There probably was that. That way, there was no chance of them defecting.
Yeah, defecting or giving information out to anything else. And the thing is, you want to treat them good because even under watch, they could still defect and they could still give out your precious information to someone else. And at that point, what was the point of keeping them? You want to show them that our country's better than their country.
Arthur Rudolph revoked his citizenship because he was going to be tried for war crimes. He went right back to Germany.
You know, a bunch of Jews were moving in next door.
But then at that point,
I'm a changed man, but really.
God. This shit.
Come on, bro. That's too long of a Christmas. I can't be partying that long. He probably didn't have anything useful that was going to be threatening, probably. Also, I figured out Truman was born in Lamar, Missouri. So Kendrick Lamar. And he also died of cardiovascular failure, which means he was being choked by one of those German scientists.
He deserved it.
But yeah, I wonder if we only let people leave when we deemed it was okay. Like it was no threat.
Or if they were ever able to like leave without being under surveillance, you know, even like, we let you leave, but we're gonna have a tail on you.
Yeah, dude, that's actually.
I would have grounded them. They would never be able to leave the country.
Yeah.
I doubt they were allowed to.
Well,
but then why would they help you out if you're not going to give them free range? Like what's the point? They'll just purposely fuck you off. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but free range in the United States.
This bomb, but we just can't figure out what's going on with it. But if you give them free range to go around the world and do whatever the fuck they want, they're like, oh yeah,
that's when you kill them.
Give you a bomb.
That's when they did it. Werner,
and you lose their mind though.
Werner von Braun
control. Anyways,
you guys,
the greatest form of control is.
That's what we're saying, Mike. Like if you give people freedom, like okay, so say they're war criminals, but you give them freedom to do whatever they want as long as they give you this product in return. So they keep giving you this product. But as soon as you like, oh yeah, you can't leave our country, you're restricted to our country. That's it. They're not going to perform as well.
Yeah. Exactly. You give them incentive, you give them bonuses, and they do better than as if they were slaves. If they were, who do you think is going to work better, the slaves or the people with incentives and bonuses and all kinds of stuff? It's stuff like that, and it's like
if we base it on the pyramids, the slaves
not dying is a pretty good incentive. You guys, there's a thing from David Icke. That's who it was. I heard it at the beginning of Vinny Pause long before, but it's the greatest form of control is where you think you're free when you're being fundamentally manipulated and dictated to. One form of dictatorship is being in a prison cell and you can see the bars and touch them. The other one is sitting in a prison cell, but you can't see the bars, but you think you're free. That's from David Icke. Yeah, yeah.
Great song.
But so you just give them the idea that they are free, but if they try to leave, like Werner von Braun is just like, I think I'd like to go see England. My accent's bad. It's like, what the fuck you want to go there? You already bombed them. You got rid of the death
squad. Austin, Texas, I think.
Well, you look more like a Texan, man.
His slaves he had in his factory. The slaves that he had in his factory, the slowest 5, they would hang in front of all the other slaves every day. The slowest 5.
Oh yeah, to make them work faster.
Yeah, to make them work harder and faster.
But
that's good incentive. Death is a great incentive.
Look at it like this.
Kenny, that's cool. You just sapped all the fun out of my joke.
Well, this is the thing too. When it comes to slavery,
they put logic around to it.
Well, certain incentive things like that, like, yeah, it's like they rolled through fear kind of thing.
Either the threat of death or a Christmas bonus. You know, it just matters how hard you're gonna work.
For one, that's manual labor. It's hard to concentrate if you're hungry. If you're hungry, it's hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
If you are, if you're tired, it's hard to concentrate.
If you're miserable,
also, if you're miserable and you say "fuck these people,"
you're horny,
but I don't want to die. If you're working on bare minimum,
that's why Truman was
different.
Well, no, I'm not arguing with you, Matthew. I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying freedom is a way better incentive, but not dying is a pretty good incentive to do work. It's not going to be as good of work, but it will be work.
I do agree with you, Kenny, but it's not going to be as good, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they ate turkey dinners kind of thing all the time, but they gave us good results because of it. Okay, now we got iPhones. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's we like we've had this technology and we took their technology at the same time too. If they are nationalists, who knows their background? Maybe they did it because their families were, so I don't know. I don't really know, and I'm not trying to sympathize, but I am saying that and to win them over to work good and actually want to work good in America, you had to treat them right. It's just it was a necessary evil for us to take them, especially when it was coming to the Cold War. We need every help we can get, really. And so that was the thing, is if Russians are going to use them, we got to use them too. But guess what? We got to treat these guys better than the Russians will treat them. We got to make it where they have everything out there. Like,
after they
you need a station. Yeah. You need a station to do your work. You need all this stuff. We're not going to make you work in a cell. We're going to give you a professional station. We need you to work here. You need a good night's sleep. We're going to give you the best bed there is. We need you to sleep. We need you to be on this shit. And
they rose rank. That was the thing. It might have been in that person's book you were talking about, Casey. It was the suspicious. These people came out of nowhere and rose high in ranks without showing any of the visible work. Like they just appeared as high rank officials in like science division.
Oh, what do you do for a living?
Where'd you come from? Oh, and by the way,
dogs.
That's what they meant.
They just speak a lick of English or nothing. Just fucking straight German. Just what?
What?
But yeah, no. And I just swear to God, this will be the last time I bring up Truman. That's what the whitewashing their records came from, because he was busting in their mouths. Sorry. And by the way,
I'll give you a Truman.
I told you earlier
you
on.
Have a Lambo, but where do you work again? I'm American. I work at Winkle. What? You have a Lambo? What?
Did we ask you, Mike, what you thought about the Paperclip?
No.
What's your thoughts?
What do you think about?
I felt it was necessary. Yeah, they're horrible people. That's a given, but it was necessary.
Yeah, you got.
And it would be a waste of resources not to do that. Plus, like I said earlier, if we were worried about the Russians getting them, we had one of two choices: either take them or kill them.
Yeah, and
if we would have killed them all, then nobody would have had the information. Everybody would have been on the same playing field.
Do you think we chose?
Oh, I was just gonna say. I just want to say, for any listener that don't think it's necessary, get your fucking head out of your fucking sweatshop made iPhone, you piece of shit. Because there is no you pick your battles every day when you use technology made in the worst working conditions fucking imaginable of these times.
Okay, Android lover.
I bet you Truman was like, he's like, okay, I'll prove this operation, but no Nazis or anybody affiliated with Nazis. And they're like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. Truman. And so they go scuffle off, and then a week later, they're like, we got one scientist.
It's like
we're gonna have to branch out a little bit.
It's like when they have all these.
They got all the. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and no, I was delving off into.
I was gonna add to the scenario, or it's like he's like, all right, I understand what Russia's doing, but no Nazis, and then they're like, well. What are we going to do with all these Nazis? They're really great scientists. Well, I guess we're gonna have to erase their history.
We're gonna have to use our imaginations and pretend like what they didn't do happened, or what happened. You know what I mean?
Concentration
What they
camp?
didn't happen.
More like summer camps.
Mike.
I am the Casey translator on this show.
Yeah. I'm sure that was such a hard decision because because the everyday person's like, oh yeah, they're gonna persecute the person who made this choice, but they're never in that seat to make that choice. Yeah, I'm sure that's the thing that you gotta wafer on for a minute. You know, you're not just gonna be like, yo, yeah.
It's not like, well,
collect them all up. Let's get it going. I'm sure it was like a fucking.
And they did do it that way.
Nights without sleep and just trying to fucking figure out, like, man, should I do this? Should I not? Is it gonna be good for the people? Is it not? You know, and especially if you're the president of the United States, you know, you have an obligation. You know, I get that all presidents are just like a figurehead, but
that's
on the same note, they still have to figure out how the fuck how to run this country. They're bottom line. They're the front line of it.
Think of it this way: we had just gone through two world wars,
Joseph,
and in the second World War, we were technologically outmatched by the enemy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, there might be another world war coming up because we just had two.
Yeah, and Russia was fucking closing in like dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
again, an asshole fucking about to.
The whole paperclip thing wasn't an overnight decision. It started with Operation Overhaul, where they were looking for German weapons.
Overcast.
Overcast. Did I say overhaul?
Overcast.
Overcast. Outcast. Bombs over Baghdad. Andre 3000. Outcast. Big boy. Well, they started looking for weaponry to capturing scientists, to talk to them, to keeping scientists. Like it wasn't like it was all intended. It's like, all right, we got to get these guys real fast. It's like, oh shit, we got this list now. We should probably bring them in.
In a
like
weird
it definitely wasn't like an overnight decision, or maybe I don't know. They definitely had
fucked up way. If you look at it like say like a tank or something, or like a firearm, you're like, oh dude, he just killed my whole family with this gun. But I killed him. I'm going to pick up this gun because I have someone else that's going to come in and try to kill my family. So I got to use this gun against them, kind of thing. It's weird. I don't know, in a way, or like a tank or something like, oh, this tank killed lots of innocent people. We should burn it. No. Let's not burn the tank. Let's fucking take it and use it.
What I think would hits a lot of people is that we use them.
Adolf hits a lot of people.
And then we put them in high sitting places like director of NASA,
and then some of them got glorified. That's the problem.
I feel like it should not have reached to that extent. Like they should have never been into a high sitting spot. Like I don't care if they want to be high in that organization, that's fine. But you should never be the head of an organization, especially coming out of a war that you were creating war crimes.
That's a problem. They should have had them in the shadows. Someone else that wants to get paid big bucks.
Figurehead, basically like our president.
Yeah, like a president, and then having them take all the credit for it, and you don't deserve anything. But then you would have to, I don't know, you'd have to lie to them and be like, oh, like I don't know, because they can't see it, because if they get lied,
it's like, oh, you're gonna be work hard. I'm gonna give credit to this guy. You're the one who created this, but we can't have you on here because you were fucking trying to see if children can live through a volcano eruption, and it's not okay.
It's not cool, dude. Like seriously,
this lava burns skin. It's like throwing. Oh man, this
Anakin Skywalker logic.
How long can an infant live in lava? So tune in next week when we talk about Tupac.
Oh shit, that's next week.
Yep.